we're just doing a GN Extras video today, so this is going to be very off the cuff. My plan is to show you some of the stuff I've been working on over the weekend, which is mostly to do with the noise chamber. As you can see, I'm going to do that again. Thank you very much. As you can see, I've hidden my treasure map in the noise chamber cable path, and this is one of the things, I'm not going to explain all that. You don't need to see it that well, it's okay. I took a bunch of measurements around the room, and what I was going for was figuring out where is it the quietest to put the chamber. So basically what we're doing, you see this card over here with all the measurement equipment. So we've got the mic stand, which this goes on here, and then this microphone goes in there. This really high-end, crazy good microphone. This is a calibration device. It creates a tone at 94 dB, or it can do 114 dB. It is a 1000 hertz tone. If we turn this on and you sat next to it, easily within a few minutes you would want to destroy this thing. But it's great for calibration. Anyway, this mobile cart, our repurposing of what turned out to be a not great tool cart, turned out to be a pretty good mobile test setup. And down at the bottom you can see we have the Dragon Canyon NUC, and that is currently hooked up to the rest of the mic equipment and to an Apollo Solo over here. And we're using all of this to collect much more accurate noise data than we used to be able to with just a dB meter. So anyway, basically the other night, actually I had to wait a few nights to do this testing because the equipment is so sensitive that it was raining for a few days, and I wanted to do the noise floor testing at night, because what we're trying to do when we establish a noise floor is figure out literally what is the lowest, what is the floor for the noise levels when nothing is happening at all. And the goal for that is to tell us what's our room for scale. So when we bring in a computer or a CPU fan or a power supply fan or something, if the noise floor is, let's just say, I don't know, I'll throw a number out there. Let's use our old numbers. With our old numbers, if the noise floor is 26 dB A, and we bring in a component, we're measuring it at 27, then we know we're too close to the noise floor to really know what the true noise is of that device, but scaling up to 35 or 30, no problem at all. So that's what we're trying to do here, except with the new equipment, is figure out what's the lowest we can bring it, and then what's the room for scale going to look like. So the end result of all of that was basically waiting a few days for the conditions to be perfect to collect the noise floor. So I was waiting for the rain to stop. That mic is so insane because we had, when we were first testing it out, so you put headphones on, hooked up to the mic, and you can hear stuff through the mic that's outside that you can't personally hear, which is really interesting. It's like a zoom lens almost, except for, except for audio. And so we could hear traffic noise that I can't personally hear, and when it was raining lightly, I couldn't hear the rain, but I could hear there's some metal up there on the roof. I could hear the metal noise as the water would hit it and do that like pinging that it does when it hits metal. And so, I mean, one, probably a great way to detect leaks is walk around, point the microphone at the ceiling. It's like sonar or something. But two, really sensitive. So had to wait for perfect conditions, and I did that measurement at 3 a.m. so that there was zero traffic anywhere nearby, and gave us the best perspective on what we needed. All of that done, what I now know is where to put the noise chamber. Originally we had it back here, and this was a pretty good spot, except it's almost a corner. Not quite, it's like 100 and something degrees for the angles, but it's almost a corner, and so you deal with more reflective noise, and it's like 1 to 2 dBA higher floor, so we axed this and we moved the chamber out there right now, and I'm going to move it today over to about where Andrew's standing actually. So the plan is to have the door open up about here probably. I think I'm going to put the back wall of the chamber against this power pole where Ethernet and power comes. That doesn't take any power, but I will back it up there, and door will be here. The microphone will be positioned about here internally in the chamber, and that should give us the best noise floor. But also, and this is important, maintain the best accessibility. Technically, there's one other place in this room that would work a little bit better for noise floor by about like half, 0.5 dBA. But because the accessibility in terms of being able to use the room and walk around becomes so bad, it just makes the most sense to put it here. This is already in the way of moving things or walking anyway. And then I'm going to get a rolling table for all this stuff to more permanently live on. That'll go about here. So then if we ever bring stuff in that needs large equipment unboxing in the future, if we have to, we can move the noise chamber and this stuff, push it all over there, and we can still use this space if we need to. But I think probably we would just roll it over there where all the pallets are anyway. So that's the plan. Enough talking though. I was going to say, I need to know where you are, Andrew, before I start pushing it and barrel you over. Like I was saying to Patrick earlier, momentum and I suppose inertia, both, they're like a hell of a drug because this is actually pretty easy to move once you get it moving. I'm more worried about like what's behind it than anything else. It's a shame I don't have anyone else in this room to help me spot where I'm going, but that would ruin the fun of a video if I ran something over. I think one of the wheels might be locked. This thing is used technically, so I think we had problems with one or two of the wheels. You can't see the power pole. Ooh, it would suck if I just realized I wasn't actually paying attention to where the door is. It would really suck to push it over here without the door being in the right spot. I forget what this weighs. I think it's like 1,400 pounds or something. It might only be 1,200. Probably. I'll square it up in a minute, but I kind of like that positioning because then if the door is open, it doesn't stick out past this wall. So there's kind of a natural like path flow of walking where it's not getting too in the way. Trying to maximize the space we have while also laying things out effectively for testing. All that stuff's obviously gonna have to move though. But that'll be probably a job for Mike to figure out sort of what we can do with it later. I think this is about where it's gonna go. I really want to finalize this today because I need to start testing. I'm running into roadblocks with the fan tester where whenever we're figuring out new testing, my approach is normally to start collecting a bunch of data that's like probably fine, but we're not publishing anyway, so it doesn't really matter if it's a little off. And eventually you hit a point where you have to transition into, okay, now the data needs to be good. And we're at that stage, so that's why this has to be done today. It needs to be finalized so I don't ever have to change the data collection. I think at this point, it's less of like technically where is it and more of what feels the best occupying the space. I think this kind of makes sense to me where there's enough room for another small machine if we ever put one in here. Different device, or we just put a table there. A little awkward. I would love it to be against a wall instead because if we could push this up against this wall, it just really gets it out of the way, but it is better here in terms of the noise floor, so we're gonna go with here. I think the organizational side of me really wants this to be at the back corner, the front corner, or dead center, but actually I think this is the better spot for it. I'm gonna test walking in. This is how I figure out if I hate something I've just done or not. Walk into the room and then I look at it. And in this instance, I don't think I hate it, so I think that's good. This feels like wasted space, but we'll put a table there. All right, I think we're good with this. So yeah, I'm gonna lock the wheels. We're gonna put those planks down there back under it because two of the wheels do not work. The locks don't work. And then that'll be done. The microphone will move from the testing station into the chamber. The fan cage that Mike made, which is over here, will also move into the chamber. And I can start collecting some early fan noise data so that I can start doing some real testing on the machine now that I understand how to use it. It's time to start actually using it for real data. not just internal validation. So, oh, one more thing I can show. We're going to build a computer on the main channel at some point. We already reviewed this, the passive cooling solution and backwards motherboard from Enctech. We did a video a while ago. Really awesome. We have a great use for this and for that passive power supply, which is to build the noise collection machine out of both of them, because there won't be any fans. And so the noise floor will be as low as possible. We don't have to deal with even a little bit of fan noise in the background. So that'll probably go on the side. I'd like to put it under here, but since it's closed off and it's passive, I think probably best not to, just because it'll get hot down there. But anyway, I think that's it for now. So thanks for watching the GN Extras update video. We'll have more for you soon, but I know all I really did on camera in terms of action was move this, but hopefully this was more to me about kind of explaining what's been going on and why we're doing it the way we are. There's a lot to consider with every aspect of testing, and some stuff we move a little slowly on to make sure we really get it right. We did that with power supplies, for example, and we're doing that with fans as well. We did that with coolers, where it took me 6 months to really write a good cooler methodology that we're really happy with now. But it's that time invested is what allows us to get the accuracy we get, where you're typically not going to find it from at least other YouTube outlets that I'm aware of. Hardware Busters notwithstanding. Eris does good work. So that's it for this one. Thanks for watching. As always, subscribe for more. You can go to the main channel for main channel stuff, but make sure you subscribe here as well, and we'll see you all next time.